The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You are standing in the house that AJ Styles built.
Welcome everyone to Through the Ropes, your newest source for news, reviews, and other wrestling-related content. My name is John Rebel, and today we are reviewing NXT Takeover War Games. What a pay-per-view. This was... Okay, so if you're not an NXT fan, if you're not watching NXT, you're missing out. This was by far probably one of the best shows I've seen all year long, and that's... It's a lot. You know, like it goes a long way to say that, and I'm just really, really happy with what these guys and girls were able to do on this show. This is what you expect high level to be. This is what you expect WWE to be on a regular basis. And Triple H and the NXT crew are absolutely killing it. Not only are they killing it on the regular NXT show, but they're killing it on these takeover shows. It's insane to think that half these guys will end up going to WWE on the main roster and just being unused or not used correctly. It boggles my mind. But you know what? Let's not think about the future. Let's think about the present. Let's think about tonight and tonight's takeover show. And the show started off with your first match, which was Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. So this match actually was scheduled to happen on the next episode of NXT. According to Matt, who came into the ring, you know, nonchalant, just kind of chilling. And he goes, you know what? This match isn't supposed to happen yet. But let's have it now. What better time to have it than right here at NXT TakeOver War Games? And what can I say? This match was something. I'll tell you this. If you blinked, you would have missed the entirety of this match. So now you have Matt Riddle calling out Cassius Ohno. Cassius Ohno being this veteran, just kind of walking to the ring and just telling Matt how dumb he is. Like, hey, you're not even supposed to be in the ring right now. You know, but you know what? I'll take care of you. And the funny thing is, okay, so before we get into the funny thing, let's talk about this. So when I said you blink and you missed it, that's exactly what happened. The match started, and Riddle ends up hitting Ohno with just a brutal knee to his face. And that match over. He won that quick. And I'm like laughing because I'm not mad that this match ended so fast. Matter of fact, it's great. And the reason it's great is it's going to set up future probably great matches between these two. Because now you have the veteran in Cassius Ohno, who is supposed to just sun this guy. Supposed to make him, you know, almost think twice about coming into this show and to coming to NXT. And that didn't happen. Matt Riddle, the hype and everything you've heard, everything from the indies, this guy delivered. And Cassius Ohno now knows. Don't mess with Matt Riddle in the future. So, the funny thing is, and I didn't watch the pre-show, but according to Mauro Ranallo, on the pre-show, apparently Cassius Ohno was asked about facing Riddle, I'm assuming at the next NXT event. And he says, you know what? I'm going to beat him like within a second. And that's what happened here. Need a face, done. Matt Riddle over Cassius Ohno. Now, you know, Ohno fans might be a little discouraged, but I wouldn't be. Because this is perfect. This is everything that Ohno's character, Ohno's storylines have been building towards. You have Ohno who is on this somewhat of a redemption story arc, right? So he comes back to NXT after, you know, kind of leaving a little bit disgracefully. He comes back, and still, no one's taking him seriously. The whole attack happened, which we'll get into later in the show, but Aleister Black was laid out. And at the time, before we knew who the person was who did it, the culprit was, we had William Regal going around questioning everyone. Do you know what happened? Did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And Ohno's upset because he's like, wait, you didn't even ask me. And William Regal's like, oh yeah, I trust you. So immediately you have this guy who's just an Ono who's upset. He's like, you know what? They're not taking me seriously. They don't think I'm a threat here at NXT. And what he does is he goes on and he's beating jobbers. I don't call them jobbers, but enhancement guys. And, you know, what does he want? He wants to be the threat of NXT. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be just given respect that he does deserve and that he thinks he deserves. And, you know, after a really good, I think, debut match from Matt Riddle, well, like not last week's NXT, but the week before, against Luke Menzies, which I really did enjoy that match. You know, then you have that backstage altercation where Ono's like just kind of mocking Matt Riddle and Keith Lee, and now you knew instantaneously that something was going to happen. And it does. You have, you know, Ono just talking all this crap, and then he gets beaten within seconds. Like seconds. I rewinded it because I put on the match thinking, okay, they're going to come out to the ring, blah, blah, blah. I can go grab some water, grab something to drink, whatever. And done. Match is over. And I'm just like, that just happened. But this can turn into the redemption storyline and enhance the already ongoing storyline that I think Cassius Ono was on anyway. Because now he's like, wait a minute. Okay, look. I'm beating guys. You know, I'm beating these enhancement guys. And finally, my first taste of competition. This, you know, because Matt Riddle, remember, a lot of people, some people may not know who he is, but he was like an indie sensation, indie darling, whatever you want to use. But on top of that, you know, this guy was on a winning streak in UFC when he was let go. So this is a guy who can fight, who can wrestle, he can put on a great show. And his first night, well, rather his second match in all of NXT and all of WWE, and Ono thinks, yeah, I'm going to make work of this guy, I'm going to step over him, blah, blah, blah. Done. So it not only makes Matt Riddle look like a total badass, because he's going to take this momentum and keep going forward. You know, he has bragging rights. Yeah, this veteran, this guy who's been with NXT like for almost forever, beat him. Bring on the next guy. Bring on the next guy. Until inevitably he'll go after the North American Championship, etc., etc. And I'm hoping that his road leads to him versus Keith Lee. That's what I'm hoping for. That is going to be amazing. But until that happens, we have this other branching storyline with Cassius Ono. Is Ono going to be looking for revenge? Is he going to be tucking his tail and running? Is he going to look for something else to do? We'll find out. But I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. The match itself, you know, leaves a lot to be desired, because when you watch one of these shows, one of these takeovers, any wrestling show, you want to see wrestling. But that doesn't mean this was a bad segment. This was good. I think it's good for both guys. Now both guys have this huge storyline. Well, not huge, but they have this storyline that they can go off in and produce. So I'm excited to see where they're going to go. Next up, your second match of the night, which kind of feels like your first match of the night. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So, you know, for you guys who you know, watched Evolution, you had Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, I think in their 4th meeting. And Shayna ends up winning with the help of the MMA 4 Horsewomen. So now you have this match starts, and Kairi Sane is just full of piss and vinegar. She's upset, and she brings the fight to Shayna harder than Shayna even thought that Kairi Sane could ever bring this fight. And this was awesome. And she's just hitting her left and right, and she's dominating until the Horsewomen show up again. And this is where I thought it was brilliant. See, normally these 2 out of 3 falls matches, they end up almost being super predictable, right? Oh, this guy won the first one, so this guy's going to win the second one, and then we'll see who wins the third one. Great. What I liked about this was each fall had a good storyline, a good basis, a good reason to happen. So you have the Horsewomen who are now at ringside, and you know, Kairi having all this momentum, they take the momentum right away from her and they beat her down. The referees don't see it because almost like a wily veteran, right? You have Shayna in the ring, who's pretending like she's kind of hurt, and she has the referee's attention. The referee doesn't know what the hell's going on inside of the ring, and Kyrie is just getting destroyed. Kyrie, finally back in the ring, is taken right down via submission by Baszler, and Baszler taps her out. And what I really loved was, while this match was happening, while this segment was happening, the announcers even telling you, hey, she had to tap, because what's going to happen if she stays in this hold and she like passes out? She's going to lose the remaining bouts. She had to tap out in order for her to even continue this match. And that's what I liked, because it's not like, oh, you know, she got hit by this devastating maneuver and how she's just kind of getting right back up right afterwards and doing another bout. No, she tapped out, which forced Baszler to let go of the submission. And here we go. Now we're on to bout number 2. And the second bout gets even more intense, right? Because now you have a Kairi Sane who's had all the wins taken out of her sails, right? She's had all the momentum taken away from her. And now she's just kind of getting beat up by Baszler, and, you know, she's angry. Sane is angry, and before, when the first bout started, and she was a little more like, you know, giving a little more finesse on her moves and kind of knowing, hey, Baszler's stronger than me, so I got to do some other things to take her down. I got to be a little more cunning, a little more wily. Now she's pissed. And now she's just attacking Baszler with strikes, and she's hitting her. And Baszler, you know, being this seasoned MMA fighter, and of course just kind of naturally being a little bit stronger than Kairi, she's blocking the shots. She's able to take her down, and it's just not working. And finally, you know, Baszler starts kind of getting the upper hand again, and somehow or another we end up. Oh, we have the horsewomen. Now they're mad, right? Because they're like, oh, well, you know, we're not going to let you get a second fall. We're going to have Baszler finish you right here and now, you know, right here now. And Sane goes outside, and now she's getting beat up by the horsewoman a little bit, and Baszler comes out, and the referee's just not really seeing it. Finally, Sane jumps back into the ring after kind of taking the horsewoman down, and she hits them, all 3 of them, with the insane elbow. Takes them all down. Then she grabs Baszler, throws her back in the ring, hits her with another elbow. 3. Now we're tied, 1-1. 2 out of 3 falls, we're tied. And again, like I said, 2 really good methods to getting these victories. So now we have it's a whole new match, right? 1-on-1, it's a whole new match, and these girls are going at it, and they're just like throwing anything they can at each other. It's devastating. And sure enough, more interference by the horsewomen, but this does not go it doesn't go down the way they planned. This is where it gets good. So you have the horsewomen attacking, and at the time, you know, like Kairi Sane is just, you know, hitting them, fighting them off. It's good, and you know, they start getting the upper hand naturally, right? As that happens, and they're really trying to take her down, boom, here comes Dakota Kai. And she's fighting off the horsewomen. She's fighting them off so that we can make this as an even fight as possible. She's kind of getting overtaken. Boom, here comes Io Shirai. And she comes in and she hits this moonsault off the top rope to the floor, taking out all the horsewomen. And it's awesome. And now we got the momentum back on the face side. And Kairi's like, here we go. Here's my opportunity. Getting ready to drop another elbow. She jumps to drop that insane elbow. And from the floor on her back, Baszler catches her and rolls her up. And I'm like, what? What just happened? Like, you know, she drops the elbow on her, but the way she did it, Baszler was able to grab her, turn her over 1, 2, 3, basically using her momentum against her. And we have your winner. Shayna Baszler retains the championship. And I'm like, wow. You know, like, with all the shenanigans, with all the craziness that's happening, now we're setting up for something bigger. Now we're putting Dakota Kai back in the scene. We're putting Io Shirai in her first rivalry since the Mae Young Classic, and losing at Evolution to Toni Storm. And now we have this whole new show. So when NXT comes back, you're going to have next week's NXT, which is just kind of, dark matches from the pay-per-view. But the NXT afterwards, we're going to have our storylines, some of them resetting, some of them coming back even stronger. And these girls finally have their spot on those shows. So this was great in the sense where it got them their spots, but the match itself was so good. Hard-hitting. It was fun. And everyone just went nuts when Kyrie was able to drop that elbow, and everyone thought, oh my god, we have a new winner, and she turns her over and she wins. Insane. I was excited. So great match between those two. Baszler proves why she's a contender in NXT, why she is one of the best women I think in wrestling now. And it's coming from someone who's not really a huge fan of hers, but I recognize her ability, and it's phenomenal. And Kairi Sane, again, she's impressive, everything she does, and she has so much passion in her matches, and she's just fun to watch. She's fun to get behind. So great match with these two. Looking forward to see what's going to happen next. Match number 3, the match we've all been waiting for. Kind of. Well, I mean, I guess we're all waiting for War Games, right? But one of the matches we've been waiting... See, that's how good this show was. You have all these different storylines just converging, and it's like, God, every match means something, and it's just so good. So the next match, Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. The grudge match, right? Gargano, took out Aleister Black in the summer when Aleister Black should have been challenging for the championship. And Aleister's back, and Aleister's pissed. Which led to probably one of the best matches I've seen in a really long time. Now, first off, I want to go ahead and shout out Johnny Gargano's attire, which was the Punisher. It was cool. And, with Stanley, rest in peace, passing, this was really cool to see. Now, it's nothing new. Gargano has worn superhero Marvel stuff for a long time, so it's not like this is something very different. But it was cool to see, especially with Stan gone, right? So really cool attire, has his name, and it's like in a red block. It's like a Marvel logo, except it says Johnny, and it was cool. And then on the bag it says Takeover, but it's kind of like the Punisher. And then you have these almost cartoony kind of looking skulls, which are it's like the Punisher meets Johnny Gargano. It's really cool. You got the bullet holes and everything. Awesome attire. On the flip, Aleister Black had a weird attire. It was alright, so when he first came out, he had this almost dragon scale jacket, like a vest with the the teeth on it and stuff, and or had the little horns, and one boot was black that resembled the jacket, but then the rest was this I don't know, almost metallic silver kind of color, and the design on the back of the trunks was this burnt orange kind of color. And until the camera got really close, it just kind of looked like Aleister kind of pooped his pants. It looked really weird, really bizarre. Looking at it close up, I can see why he may have liked it, why he may have wanted to wear it, but it looked kind of weird. But anyways, going back, so we know Johnny hit this really great promo when he revealed that why he attacked Aleister Black and everything, and phenomenal. And in his mind, he did nothing wrong. In his mind, he is still the fan favorite. He's still the guy that all the fans love. And you see this in his entrance, and I love it. He's just any person who has a Gargano sign, he goes up to him, see what I mean? They love me. And people are cheering, and he's excited, and he's he's basically proving, hey, look, I'm not the bad guy here. I did what I had to do. I had to play a little bit dirty. It's just kind of the name of the game. And it was cool. So, really great character building. This guy, he's delusional. He doesn't realize what he did was wrong, and he's fine with it. He's like, look, you know what? I did something. It is what it is. They still love me. And absolutely, I love that. So, this match, I'm going to tell you right now, this match is one of those matches you should really go out of your way to see. It was phenomenal. It was crisp, it was clean, and it was just like hard hitting. You had the best of both different styles. So you have what I call like, okay, so these guys are both, I don't want to say high flyers, but they do a lot of high flying stuff, right? And then you have this like hard hitting, almost like UK kind of style coming from Aleister Black, and then you have like the like Ring of Honor-ish kind of style coming from Johnny Gargano. And these two, the way they clash, just it was nice. It was cool. All right, so after, you know, both these guys start over. Cut here. Start now. So after all the hard-hitting matches or hard-hitting moves and everything, and these guys, like, again, they're just hitting different, like, DDTs, high-flying maneuvers, so on and so forth. You have one point where Johnny's getting ready to, looks like he's gonna kick Aleister in the face, or maybe knee him, I'm not sure. And Aleister, it's one of the funnier moments, or like one of the better moments from the match. I don't want to say funny, but it was cool. Black sits up, like he stops Johnny first. He's like, wait. He sits cross-legged the way he does, and he tells Johnny, take your best shot. Take your best shot. And I'm like, okay, here we go. So Johnny's like, oh, you want my best shot? You think you can take it? All right, cool. Pulls down his I almost want to say knee brace, but it's not a knee brace, like his knee pads a little bit, and he goes charging for Aleister. Aleister outsmarts him, reverses. But then he's outsmarted again. And Gargano hits him anyway. Just like a bullet. It was like a bat out of hell. Like, that's what I loved about this match. Again, it was hard hitting, it was everything, but it was like a chess match. As feared and as good as Black is, Johnny's like, wait, I'm a great wrestler, and I'm gonna outsmart you. And that's what he kept consistently doing in this match. It was outsmarting, but then Aleister outsmarting him, and it was great. So then another moment came when Gargano went for a suicide dive on the outside, and this is what starts leading towards the end of the match. And he comes running, and I don't know how he timed it so perfectly, but Black gives him a knee right to the face. And that just turns everything. So finally he throws Johnny back in the ring, and he's going to set him up for the Black Mass, and Johnny's kind of like tricking. He's like, look, I'm sorry. And he takes his own head and puts it on Aleister's foot for Aleister to bring up. And he's coming up, and Black's like, all right, well, I'm going to kick your head off because that's what I was planning to do anyway. And he goes for the kick. And he misses because Gargano's like, nah, I'm not going down that easily. Again, mind games. This match was Mind Game City. And he gets him into his submission. And the crowd's going nuts. You think, okay, man, like this guy is about to beat him. He's about to beat Black, and it's awesome. And you're like, damn, it's very few and far between that you see like the attacker, the bad guy, if you will, do a storyline like this and actually win. And I gotta be honest, like I was at the edge of my seat. I thought he was gonna beat him. But Black gets free. Boom. Another knee to Johnny's face. Black Mass. Almost kicks Johnny's head clean off. And I'm like, oh man. And Johnny kind of falls on him, like his head on his chest. His head on his chest. And now, you know, Aleister's kind of talking a little bit of crap to him. And one more Black Mass takes him out. 1, 2, 3. Black has avenged himself. He has defeated Johnny Gargano. No matter what Gargano tried to do. And Gargano was just on fire in this match. But Black, there was no way Black wasn't going to make him pay for what he did. And I really hope this is not the last meeting with these two. I mean, usually at this point, you know, you had the payoff, he got his revenge, great. And now usually at this point, the wrestlers kind of go their separate ways. I hope that's not the case. I hope they come back and do this again. Maybe for the title next time, I don't know. But, you know, if you want to separate them for a little bit, go ahead. But not for too long. Let's see these guys one more time. All right, so next up, Tommaso Ciampa versus the Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship. Immediately, I'm marking out for Velveteen Dream. He comes out dressed like Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And Hollywood Hulk Hogan's it is my favorite iteration of the Hulk Hogan character. He looked cool. He had the black and white, but mixed in with the purple, and awesome. Absolutely loved it. So in this match was really good. I remember sitting there at one point and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not seeing this match. But then like I'm really starting to paying attention to the story being told, paying attention to, what's been built for the for the past few shows, and I liked it. Now, Velveteen, it was interesting because like he pretty much just kind of brought out the greatest hits, if you will. He brought out Hulk Hogan moves, Shawn Michaels moves, Ric Flair moves, and that was cool to see. But I'm like, give me Velveteen. I've seen those guys. Give me Velveteen. But he did deliver. He gave all his moves. But I want to see less. Like, that's the one thing I really don't like about Dolph Ziggler, right? I feel like Dolph Ziggler is this mashup of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And a little bit of other guys too. Like, Ric Flair, of course. I'm like, Ziggler just kind of seems like a fan. I think that's why he's never really gotten to where he should. Because he has the ability. But I feel like he's just like a fan of these guys, and that's his whole character. The Dolph Ziggler character is just a fan of great wrestlers. Never to be respected as a great wrestler himself. But anyways, let's not go another way. Let's stick with this. So again, Velveteen doing all these moves, great. So what this match ended up becoming was two guys with very completely different styles trying to outdo each other. Now, there have been multiple times in this match where Velveteen could have taken the title, where Tommaso could have just beaten him, took his belt, took Goldie, and went home. But these guys were not satisfied doing that. They were going to fight and prove to the other guy that they were better. They weren't going to let, with the brawling and everything that's happened the last few months, there's no way these guys weren't looking for blood. So this almost turned into a grudge match for the championship. Like, the championship became like, okay, that's the thing on the side. But this match was more, I'm going to beat you and you're going to respect me. From both guys. And it was interesting. And one thing I really enjoyed, actually, funny enough, I know I just mentioned, I want to see more Velveteen. But one maneuver that Velveteen ended up doing in the match that was really fitting was the figure four leg lock. And I'll tell you why. The figure four, when you lock it on somebody, it's devastating, right? You're hurting them, and you can beat them with it, and you're destroying their legs. But when they flip you, and usually it happens, right? It hurts you. Now they can do everything you just did. They're doing it to you. And that's what this match was. It was Velveteen really like being able to win that title, but he's gonna hurt Ciampa, and on the flip, Ciampa's gonna flip you over, and he's gonna hurt you. He's not satisfied with just pinning you and taking his championship and going home. That's where this match shined. So now, both guys just hitting each other hard with different moves. At one point, you have Velveteen hitting a super kick, then doing his wheelbarrow Death Valley driver on Ciampa, and he almost won there. But then Ciampa rolls him up, and we see some Velveteen cheeks. Okay, and again, now at this point, after these guys have like really almost beaten the respect into each other, now they're trying to win. So Ciampa rolls him up, and he's holding those tights as far up as he can, and the referee calls him out. And, of course, he doesn't win that way. And now the frustration sitting in. Now it's like, okay, now I got to put you away. I already beat the respect into you. Now I got to put you away. And Dream ends up kicking out the Project Ciampa. And both these guys just will not quit. Now Ciampa's mad. So he starts tearing up the padding on the outside, and he's going to hurt him. Again, he's going to put him out for good. And as he's pulling up the padding, Velveteen runs and tackles him over the announcer's table, and both guys are out for a minute, and Velveteen's making his way back into the ring, or recovering rather, and Morrow's there, and he's announcing, and Tommaso's he's angry, and I guess he heard whatever Morrow was saying, and he's like, and he pushes him, he throws something at him, he's like, no, I'm the champion, and boom, he gets caught with another wheelbarrow Death Valley, and Dream throws Ciampa into the ring, drops him with the purple Rainmaker. 1, 2, he kicked out. This crowd went insane. They're like, we have a new champion right here. And he kicks out. That was absolutely insane. And I was like, he has it. I was like, and when he kicked out, even I was just like, what? It was awesome. And when Ciampa kicked out, he kind of, his body after, he didn't get right up from it, because he did just take the hit. And his body kind of ends up half in the ring, half like on the apron leading to the outside of the ring. So that's where Velveteen gets on the top rope and goes to drop another elbow to put him away. And Tommaso moves. Boom, crash and burn. Tommaso's like, okay, now it's over. So he grabs Velveteen, gets him into the ring, and so this was a War Games arena, right? So what that means is there's 2 wrestling rings, and they're being held together by like this metal partition, this steel. Almost think of like the old school like wrestling ramps, like that diamond kind of shaped like steel. And Tommaso grabs him, drops him, DDT, boom, right onto that metal partition, which is legal. 1, 2, 3, and Ciampa retains the belt. And that was phenomenal, because look, you have Dream, who's 23 years old, right? This guy has all the charisma, he has the showmanship, but he doesn't have the experience where he should have been fighting Ciampa, and where he should have been, defeating him, because he had opportunity after opportunity to defeat him, but no, he was going to hurt him. He was going to beat respect into him. That's where the character's inexperience came in. And Ciampa knows, I'm in his head. He's doing A, B, and C. And Ciampa's the first one to go and try to end the match. And, with every, he tries all his different things, all his different, like, cheating tactics. They don't work. Boy, that inexperience that. And then finally at the end, he's, Velveteen's trying to drop these elbows and everything. And he's not able to put Ciampa away, because Ciampa's like one step ahead every single time. And because of the inexperience in the Velveteen Dream, Ciampa was able to make Velveteen play his game. And Ciampa was able to put him away. I don't know if these two are going to meet again soon. I think there's definitely an opportunity for Velveteen to potentially take the belt off Ciampa. Hopefully not, because usually when that happens, that means somebody's going to WWE. But definitely want to see them meet again. Interested to see where both of these guys are going to go. And I guess we'll find out. Not next week, but the week after is NXT. So now we have our main event. What the event was named after. War Games. A classic match brought back into the modern time. And it's a hell of a match. So if you don't know what it is, it's a match where 2 rings are set up and they're connected by a metal partition. And both rings are encased by a cage. And now you have 2 men from whichever team start the match, right? So, like, for instance, you have the Undisputed Era, and the man who started their match started the match for them was Adam Cole. And then the man who started for the team of the War Raiders, and so War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne, Ricochet started the match. So now these 2 guys are in the match, and they're going to be facing each other for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is over, because of the stipulation from NXT, you have one member from the Undisputed Era come into the ring. After 3 minutes, a member from the other team. We'll just call them Team War Raiders. and then so on and so forth every 3 minutes until everybody's in the match. And when everyone's in the match, that's when the actual match begins. That's when you can pin. That's when you can submit. You can't, however, escape the cage. If you escape the cage, your team loses. And that's where the fun begins for this match. So you have Ricochet and Adam Cole going at it. And it's good. Like, it's not like, one person's just getting their ass kicked and that's it. You have Cole having the upper hand, Ricochet having the upper hand. And everything's kind of like even, these two guys who know each other really well and, have had great matches together. Things are just kind of even. And then after the first 5 minutes are over, Kyle O'Reilly enters the match. And now Ricochet's trying. He's fighting them off best as he can. But, when you have two guys, two of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion, you can only fight them off for so long, right? So, the numbers game finally catches up with Ricochet, and Ricochet's getting taken down until after 3 minutes, Hanson, one of the War Raiders, comes charging to the ring. And that was really like the story of the night, like the side story rather, where every time the cage would open, because it wasn't planned, right? Well, I mean, it was planned for WWE, but it wasn't planned for us. So like, shoot, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, you have everybody in the War Raiders cage trying to come out at the same time, and they can't. So somebody has to come out. And every time Pete Dunne is trying to get out, he's trying to get out. And one of the War Raiders is stopping him. Which, spoiler, Pete Dunne's the last one to come to the ring. Anyways, so Hanson gets into the ring, and he starts taking it to the Undisputed Era. And one of the cooler moments from the match, when he has Kyle O'Reilly in one corner, Adam Cole in the other, and he's just going back and forth, just clothesline, takes them both out, and it's awesome. Next, you have Roderick Strong entering the ring, and he just unloads on Hanson and Ricochet, and he's just like, I felt bad for Ricochet. He just absolutely destroys him. I'm talking about backbreaker. And he shows why he is a messiah at the backbreaker. And I remember watching this guy back in the day, back like in TNA, and he used to absolutely destroy it. And he hasn't skipped a beat. He absolutely continues to destroy it. Great job for Roderick Strong. Next, again, you have the next 3 minutes happen. And now Rowe's trying to get in the ring. Well, Pete Dunne is still trying to get in the ring, but Rowe gets in. And Rowe gets in there. He gets a bit of shine. He has a great spot. With so he has O'Reilly like in a power slam position. Think of like a World's Strongest Slam, and then Hanson picks up Roderick Strong and puts him onto Rowe, like in a powerbomb position, and he just drops them both forward. Boom! Great spot. Drops both men. It was awesome. So again, you have your fighting going on, and Bobby Fish is the last and final member of the Undisputed Era to be let out of the cage to come to the ring. As the ref is like unlocking the master lock to let him out, Fish, true heel, grabs the lock, key and all, runs over, antagonizes Pete Dunne in his cage for a little bit, takes him down, and then he locks the cage with his lock. The one he just took from the ref. Locks the cage even more. So now you have two locks on the cage. And the key that he had, he takes it and just tosses it into the crowd somewhere. And Pete Dunne's kind of screwed, right? So Fish gets into the ring. He brings in a bunch of chairs with him. And Undisputed Era have the upper hand. After the 3 minutes are over, now it's Pete Dunne's turn to get into the ring, right? And the refs were able to unlock one of the locks, to let him out. But the one that Bobby Fish took care of, they couldn't open. And now, it's like, now that the time is over, they get the sense of urgency. We gotta let him out. It's like, when Fish was in the ring for however many minutes. Why weren't you guys looking for a way to let him out? It just didn't make any sense. Finally, they went to the back. They got some bolt cutters. And now Pete Dunne is coming into the ring. Comes into the ring. Brings in a bunch of weapons with him. Brings chairs with him. And this just turns into a great match. It's hell. Like, they talk about Hell in a Cell, changing lives, destroying careers. No, this match does that. And it's just full of great maneuvers and chairs and tables and trash cans, the whole nine. And every time you think someone's going to get the fall, you know, it's interrupted by someone else. And it was phenomenal. It was probably one of the most fun matches to watch. And so remember when I said the only way to win this match is through submission or pinfall? You had Adam Cole climb to the top of the cage as if he was gonna escape, right? This is all part of the plan. So he gets up there, and Ricochet gets up there. He's like, no, you're not escaping. And I forgot who it was. I want to say it was like Fish or somebody. Oh, it was Strong. It was Roderick Strong. He comes up, and this is all part of the plan. Now that they have him up there, now that they have Ricochet up there, and Cole was able to lure him up, they're trying to push him off the cage. Because if they push him off, he escaped the cage, Undisputed Era wins. And I'm like, crap. Like, all right. Like, this was it was fun. It was fun psychology to see in the ring. And fun storytelling. Because this is a team in the Undisputed Era who is in unison. They worked out everything because they're close, they're brothers. And you have this makeshift team of the War Raiders and Ricochet and Pete Dunne. And they're a little less polished as a team, not as wrestlers. And, you know, the Undisputed Era was pulling out all the stops. Finally, they were able to, in this big, Tower of Doom, now everybody's in the ring. And Ricochet is up, and he sees this opening. So he jumps off with a double moonsault, flips twice in the air, takes everyone out. Absolutely insane. And then the chaos continues. You know, it was Bobby Fish who put Hanson through a table. And there was another spot where Pete Dunne was trying to put Kyle O'Reilly through the table. O'Reilly puts him into submission, but then Rowe gets on the ropes and he jumps from one ring to the other and splashes I can't want to say Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly through the table. And it was because when he put the submission on him, he was laying on the table. Pete Dunne is standing up and Rowe just jumps, boom, puts him through, and it's insane. And then basically after that double moonsault spot, now both teams are separated. So you have one ring full of the faces, one ring full of the heels, and this standoff happens, and it's very reminiscent of Marvel Civil War. It was fun. And they're looking at each other, and they come charging at each other again. They're taking each other out. Finally, the finale of the match saw what looked like basically you had Adam Cole going one-on-one with Pete Dunne. And these two know each other. They have a past. And just when you think that Adam Cole has the upper hand, Pete Dunne was able to just kind of turn it around on him, hit him with the finish, the bitter end. And as he dropped him with the bitter end, you have Ricochet just off-screen, flies out of nowhere, like he did in that triple threat match for the North American Championship between these three guys. Which I love that these three guys ended up together again. And he hits, his 450. Boom. So right after the bitter end, boom, gets hit with the 450. And now both guys cover Adam Cole. 1, 2, 3. And it's over. And that was fun. That was exciting. That's probably one of the best matches I've seen in a really long time. And it's funny that you had both the UK champion and the North American champion cover Adam Cole. So both these guys, it's not like one person got favored over the other. They both got the victory. And they both had to finish Cole together. And they're kind of looking at each other like, yeah, I know you, you know me, we have a past, but we're both champs, we respect each other. And the show goes off the air with both men celebrating on top of the cage. I'll tell you, this was a great show. I don't really give I don't really give like numbered or like star ratings or anything. If I had to, I'd say, God, it was like 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It was 9 out of 10. It was a great show. I think, you know what? If you can, go out of your way to watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's some of the best matches you're going to see in a really long time. And these matches are only going to get better. So, let's give it a rating. 9 out of 10. NXT Takeover War Games. And, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hope to put out some more topical videos soon. Some more NXT reviews. Definitely going to do some NXT UK reviews and maybe 205 Live. I gotta be honest, it's really hard for me to watch SmackDown and Raw. Even Survivor Series for that matter. It's not that... I love all the guys and girls on both shows. I'm loving the Becky Lynch stuff, but... I don't know, we'll see. Like, I think I'm going to start, because this is definitely a new beginning for me. So I'm going to start reviewing these shows, and then maybe potentially make my main roster debut, and review some of the main roster shows, but we'll get there. But definitely stay tuned. If you guys like the video, like it. If you want to subscribe to hear more, please, by all means. I definitely look forward to putting out more reviews, more topical videos, and if you stayed through the whole review, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.